Much good news, so much winning out of the Trump White House right now that the mainstream legacy media can't keep.
Just when it seemed like the drama had peaked, things took an even more serious turn. Karoline Leavitt has filed a second lawsuit against The View, and now ABC is facing full-blown chaos behind the scenes. According to multiple sources, Whoopi Goldberg is under pressure, Joy Behar is visibly angry, and Sunny Hostin has gone unusually silent. This isn't just some social media feud, it's a calculated legal escalation. And insiders say the network is scrambling. Emergency meetings are happening daily. Major sponsors are starting to distance themselves, and top ABC executives are calling this a reputational disaster. So, what exactly happened just a few days ago? The View aired yet another episode that mocked Karoline. Despite already being hit with an $800 million lawsuit, instead of stepping back or issuing a statement, the host went straight back into attack mode. Joy called Karoline Trump's token Gen Z mouthpiece. Sunny dismissed the original lawsuit as nothing more than a Republican media stunt, and Whoopi, who's already at the center of the legal storm, smugly said, "She's lucky we let her on the show at all." The live audience applauded. But Karoline's legal team didn't see this as harmless banter. They saw fresh evidence. Within hours, her lawyers had reviewed the footage, pulled transcripts, and connected every moment to their existing court filings. This wasn't about feelings being hurt. It was about the host continuing the exact behavior they were already being sued for on national television. That's when the second lawsuit dropped, and it hit hard. Filed in federal court with new evidence. The suit accuses a show of retaliatory defamation, knowingly continuing to attack Karoline during ongoing litigation with clear intent to damage her reputation and intimidate her publicly. The new charges include reckless defamation, calculated character assassination, and malicious conduct with long-term harm. Karoline's legal team also included expert opinions from media law scholars and a retired judge, all criticizing the View's actions as shockingly irresponsible, especially during an active legal case. One expert bluntly said that ABC's defense is now so weak, they may as well ask how Karoline wants to receive her judgment by check or bank transfer. The fallout is growing fast. PR teams are scrambling, sponsors are reevaluating, and ABC is reportedly in a state of panic. Some insiders even claim Whoopi may be preparing to quietly exit the show. What ABC thought was just one storm has now turned into a legal and public relations disaster. And this second lawsuit might be the one that causes real, lasting damage to The View and the network behind it.
Calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a sexist rating system? But it's such a typical...
The situation at ABC has gone from tense to explosive, with insiders describing the View studio as a full-blown emotional war zone. What's shocking isn't Karoline Leavitt stirring the pot, it's the host who mocked her on air now, watching their own platform unravel. Within 48 hours of Karoline filing her second lawsuit, chaos erupted behind the scenes. Normally composed producers are furious not at Karoline, but at the show's own host. One senior producer reportedly slammed a folder during a meeting and shouted, "This is what happens when no one listens." The tension is real, with staff describing the atmosphere as thick and suffocating. The reason? Two major lawsuits now hang over the show, threatening its reputation, ratings, and bottom line. A leaked memo revealed ABC had warned the host to stay away from inflammatory comments about the case, but they ignored it. Joy Behar made jokes. Sunny Hostin dismissed the legal threat, and Whoopi Goldberg, already under scrutiny, smirked her way into deeper trouble. Now, executives are scrambling to contain the damage. Sponsors have stopped returning calls. Legal teams are reviewing footage and emails, and production budgets are frozen. Staff morale is at rock bottom, with one employee saying they've gone from joking about lawsuits to researching severance packages. Security has been doubled not because of outside threats, but due to the overwhelming public backlash, angry emails, social media outrage, and even longtime fans demanding firings. Petitions calling for Joy, Sunny, and Whoopi to resign are gaining traction, and the ABC board is reviewing talent contracts, something that rarely ends well. Meanwhile, Karoline Leavitt has remained completely silent. No media appearances, no statements, just the lawsuits, backed by strong evidence, doing the talking. Her silence is strategic and it's working. As The View spirals publicly, She's calmly letting the consequences unfold. This isn't just headline drama. It's now a defining moment for live television and media accountability. 2 lawsuits from one woman against the same show in less than a month have forced even usually sympathetic media outlets to take the story seriously. The evidence is too strong to ignore, and the implications too big to downplay. The internet is ablaze with hashtags like #Karoline Strikes Back and #Justice for Karoline. TikTokers are breaking down clips, YouTubers are hosting legal panels, and political commentators from both sides are weighing in. Even some left-leaning voices have acknowledged that Karoline is highlighting a problem the media has avoided for too long. This is no longer a political fight, it's a national reckoning about how powerful media figures use their platforms, what accountability looks like, and where the legal line is drawn when speech turns reckless. If Karoline wins, the consequences could reshape not only TV, but also the rules for podcasters, YouTubers, and online influencers. What started as a feud is now a legal and cultural flashpoint, with everyone from legacy media to digital creators watching closely.
This White House and the White House Counsel of Office that the president was within his executive authority to do that. He is the executive of the executive branch, and therefore he has the power to fire anyone within the executive branch that he wishes to. There's also a case that went before the Supreme Court in 2020, Scala Law LLC versus the Customs, Bureau Protection. I would advise you to look at that case, and that's the legality that this White House was resting on.
You're confident that if they bring lawsuits against you, the prosecutor were fired, that they will succeed?
We will win in court.
And
yes.
did he personally direct this, given they worked on the classified documents investigation and the election interference investigation?
This was a memo that went out by the presidential person.
ABC is now facing a crisis it never saw coming. Do they keep The View or shut it down entirely? Inside the network's headquarters, panic has turned into a kind of frozen chaos, with executives stuck in non-stop emergency meetings trying to make a decision that could define ABC's future. Leaked reports say they're weighing 3 tough options. First, suspend Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin temporarily, a quick PR move meant to show they're taking action, though many argue it's far too little, far too late. Second, settle both of Karoline Leavitt's lawsuits with massive payouts, formal apologies, and retractions in a last-ditch attempt to stop the financial and reputational bleeding. But that option would be costly, embarrassing, and likely infuriate fans and critics alike. The third option? Cancel The View altogether and rebrand the Times-led, a drastic move some insiders say is now seriously being considered because the damage is just that bad and the urgency is real. Ad teams are in full-blown panic mode as major sponsors walk away. One insider says a multi-million-dollar deal vanished within 24 hours of the second lawsuit, while another advertiser issued a blunt statement: "We will not associate with programming under active defamation litigation." Viewer trust is collapsing fast. Social media has turned on the show. People who once supported its unfiltered style are now demanding real accountability. Legal analysts are warning ABC that without decisive action, they could be tied up in court battles for years, for decades. The View thrives as unfiltered daytime drama, with no real consequences for crossing the line. But Karoline Leavitt has shattered that illusion. She's shown that even the biggest platforms can be held accountable. Now the question isn't just about the future of The View, but whether this marks a turning point for legacy media as a whole. Did Karoline just change the rules? Is this the moment mainstream networks finally lose their grip on unchecked power? ABC is at a crossroads and the world is watching. Because this isn't just Karoline's fight anymore, it's a reckoning for everyone. Who's ever been dismissed, ridiculed, or silenced by powerful voices who never thought they'd be challenged? That silence has now been broken, not by outrage, but by evidence in the law.
From this podium, we ask that all of you in this room hold yourselves to that same standard. We know for a fact there have been lies that have been pushed by many legacy media outlets in this country about this president, about his family, and we will not accept that. We will call you out when we feel that your reporting is wrong or there is misinformation about this White House.
Boom. She's got more.
I would like to point out to each and every one of you that in 2024, when Joe Biden was in the Oval Office, or upstairs in the residence sleeping, I'm not so sure, egg prices increased 65% in this country.
So, what did The View actually do? They laughed, rolled their eyes, and mocked Karoline Leavitt on national TV again despite already being hit with one major lawsuit. Now they're scrambling, offering weak apologies and throwing out rushed PR statements in a panic. But Karoline isn't playing the victim or running to interviews. She's staying silent and letting the facts speak for themselves, and that silence is powerful. Think about it. A young conservative woman with no corporate backing has managed to shake one of the biggest shows on television twice. That says a lot about just how fragile the media's so-called power really is. It also raises a bigger question. Who's actually in control now? This moment isn't just about Karoline or The View, it's about what happens when the public finally pushes back against media arrogance, double standards, and unaccountable commentary. So if you're tired of the bullying, the fake smiles, and the hypocrisy dressed up as entertainment, now's the time to pay attention. Like this, share it, and stay tuned because this isn't just another lawsuit. It's a full-blown battle over who controls the narrative. And Karoline, she's not just winning, she's flipping the whole system on its head. The View thought this would blow over. They were wrong.